Hey guys, you're listening to the CPR podcast with me, your host, June Kato Ryder. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, get comfortable.
A bit zen.
Get into your spirituality of things.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I lived in India for a couple of years, so.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm all about that namaste.
I don't know what that
means.
means.
Massage, Karma Sutra.
Okay. I don't want to know about those massages, but Thank you for the information. I didn't know. Jesus Christ.
Hey everybody, welcome back
guys.
to the CPR show where we talk about children, parenting, and relationship as well.
Relationships. I'm June.
Aaron here.
This is Aaron. So nice to be back with you. Did you guys?
I don't think, maybe they did.
Maybe. Yeah. Did you guys like it? I mean, so in the last episode, our first episode, we talked
Our last, one of those.
Episode 222.
Yeah, one
of those. We talked a little bit about the documentary that Aaron and I worked on together about postpartum depression. We put a link in the description, and I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to watch that, but
you should. It's super good.
You should. You really should. If you like crying, it's great.
Yeah, I get the feels every time.
Every time.
Ooh, the shivers, like, ooh.
Yeah, it really does. Because those are real stories from real people who went through a lot of.
The lady that cries a lot and has the dreadlocks
and the tattoos, the gorgeous woman.
That's my sister.
Yeah, that's Aaron's sister.
My younger sister. I have 3 sisters, so yeah, she was great. I was filming her, I had a hard time because I was like trying to film and then like getting all like emotional.
Yeah.
And then after I gave her a big hug and it's like,
yeah,
but it felt good. It was good.
Super powerful story. It really is. And this was a very roundabout way to explain that will be the topic of this episode. We're going to be talking about postpartum depression because it's something that actually means quite a lot to both Aaron and I, as Aaron has had very close relatives of his who's gone through it, like you said, his sister, and I've gone through it myself personally.
So I was going to ask you about that, right?
So just jumping right in. Here we go.
No. So I know like in the film you talked about that you had it and stuff like that, but I wanted to ask a little bit more like leading up to it, right? Like, did it start like when you just first got pregnant, when you were, leading up, maybe 6 months or almost having a kid, or did it start like right after you had the kid? Like, did you feel that was when you kind of started having a little bit of that?
Well, okay. So the video that we posted a link to, that's a shorter version of the interview. In the longer version, I kind of go into the story, but to just put it very briefly, when I was pregnant, I was still like so invested in my career. I was like flying all over until like the very last moment. I was always talking with like the flight agents and all of these people, and they'd always be like, so how many months are you now? Can you still fly? And so every time before I would fly overseas for different events and things.
Doesn't like each airline have like a little bit of a difference?
A little bit of a difference, right? And so I would always have to check.
Or whatever weeks, how many weeks, right?
I think it's like 7 months usually.
Yeah, right?
But I think I went to like 8 months because I was, But every time I went overseas, you guys, I wasn't being careless. I would always go to my doctor and make sure that I was healthy, my child was healthy, and they always gave me the okay to travel. So that's
very important. Yeah.
I was able to do this. But anyways, I was working super hard, and so I wasn't even like thinking about what life would be like once my baby was actually born. And so when he finally did come, it was a really difficult delivery. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But there's no other way to say it other than that I just didn't feel connected to him. And I just thought that there was something wrong with me, like there was something broken inside of me, that how could I not love this perfect child, this perfect being that had come into my life. And it literally took 5 months of me feeling totally dead inside. And I was just every day going through the motions, like, change the diaper, nurse, feed. And then, I was also having other issues with like, one of my boobs would not produce as much milk.
Yeah,
And
that's
that was
tough.
really frustrating as
Stressful,
well.
yeah.
And I just felt like a complete failure as a mother. I was like, what kind of a mother am I if I can't even love this being who has come into my life?
At the same time, I think, when you hear stories about motherhood, a lot of the times it's, you want to be on the positive side. So a lot of them, they say
Yeah.
their positive stuff. Oh, I fell
Gonna
in
be
love with the
the
kid
best
right
thing
away.
that ever happened to you.
It's the, my treasure and my best everything. I love it so much. I was laughing
Exactly.
like right away. So when you hear those stories, of course that's good too. But
Yeah.
with your situation, you couldn't relate to that story
I
at all.
couldn't relate to that, and it just felt like so much pressure. And then I remember this one thing that a super, super, super well-meaning mother said to me, and I know she didn't mean any harm by it, but she told me, I was visiting her home, and she's just one of the most amazing mothers I've ever met. And she was looking at my son, and she was like smiling, and she was like, she looked at me in the eyes and was like, if you're really connected to your son, if your baby, they'll never need to cry. And I was like, ugh. Oh shit. I was like, oh my God, I'm not fulfilling my son's needs. He needs to cry. And that just like felt like so much pressure on me. And she's amazing. I love her, and I have so much respect for her. But for me, in that moment, at that time, that was just like, that's just like a knife to the heart. I was like, I don't need to hear this right now. I am not there.
But kids cry all the time.
Exactly.
Like my mom, but I think my mom went through a similar thing, because there's another baby, Elisa, a friend of ours.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the same age, and she was so good with her mom. And then I would cry all the time, 24/7. And
Monster.
she was like, she was definitely going through her depression as well. And she was like, can we trade kids or something? I don't know what's going on. I think my kid's broken. I would just cry all the time, and her kid's so
perfect.
good.
Or they
So
have
yeah,
the perfect compatibility.
yeah. So that's
Yeah, that
Definitely.
was really hard to hear.
yeah, for sure.
I know she didn't mean anything by it, and so I really appreciate her. I think she was trying to share a tip of what works for her,
Yeah.
if you're so in tune.
Sure,
And I was like, yeah, if.
But I'm not.
But I'm not, and that really yeah. Anyways,
Wow.
so it was that for 5 straight months, and then I remember the moment that I felt something for the first time. I was changing my son's diaper in
Right.
the middle of the night, and he was being more calm than usual. He was very focused on me, and so he looked into my eyes, and for the first time I looked at him, I was changing his diaper, and I was like, oh my God, this is my heart opened
Cool.
and then I was my whole body started to tingle, and I was like, oh my God, here we are. This is the mother feeling. This is the love that I felt I'd been locked out from for so long. Wow. And from
That's
that
really
point,
cool.
it was just this moment, again, just little peeks and little windows into what our, parenting child relationship could be. But it's just, yeah, that gave me enough juice to keep on going. But yeah, even so, it's I'm sorry.
I know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Please explain.
I just say, if you're a mom and you're judging yourself for not being or feeling like the perfect mom or living up to your own expectations, then just don't worry about it. There's so many different ways. And if you watch the video that we put together, you'll see that there are so many varying experiences for postpartum
All unique.
depression. It's so unique. There's no case that's exactly the same, and so please don't ever feel alone. We're all doing good. Right. Anyways, that's sort of.
So you went through kind of the whole thing for, you were saying 2 years, 2.5 years,
2.5 years, yeah.
So as a guy, right? I know my sisters and my wife as well went through some stuff like that. And for me, I guess the communication part would have been super important. I feel this, so I would like this, but sometimes you're just at a loss. I don't know what's going on. She seems depressed, or she seems extra quiet, or this or that or the other. So from you know, coming from, you know, a guy's viewpoint or like a husband, partner type of thing,
yeah.
like what would you like if you could say, like, maybe not one thing, like 2 or 3 things that, you know, I won't say one
many
thing,
things,
but like
yes.
a couple things that you feel like if you're on the other side of this, right?
Yeah.
As a
The person
you know,
going through
father.
it? Oh,
no,
as
no,
a
no, me.
father.
Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
father, partner, you know, not going through it, but just seeing it from the other side. Like, what would you say, or what like tips and things would you want to recommend to that person? Like, like I'm sure
Well,
your partner at the time did certain things that were
yeah.
good, but maybe there's some things that you felt that
that
could
I
have.
would have wanted
Yeah,
from
exactly.
him.
Yes.
I guess so. The biggest thing was that I think that I wanted too much from him. I didn't have a lot of mom friends around at the time, so in my circle of friends, I was the first one to have a baby. And so,
Right.
I mean, I had sisters and stuff, but they all live overseas, and so,
Right,
you know, there wasn't anyone like really central in my life to give me that kind of advice or see me day to day. Like when I would go out and see people, I would be put together, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but
you
you're just
know?
putting on that front.
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly. And then so there was never anyone really inside my life all day to actually see the ups and the downs and how down I would really go. There would be times where like I would like curl up in a ball under my kotatsu and just like cry. I would just cry and cry and cry and shit. Now that I'm remembering, I feel like crying now, but it was really rough.
Wow.
And even, you know, so my partner, he would come home and he would be working really hard, and,
Yeah.
and he would come home wanting to see his son and his partner being happy because he
Right.
worked so hard to support us and to make us
Right.
happy, but he'd come home and I'd be just miserable. And there was you asked me something, didn't you? What would I want them to know? Yes.
Yeah.
So what I want them to know,
or say, or
Gosh,
do
yeah.
to help you.
to
in
help me,
Just
to help. So the most important thing that I would think from a guy, what you could do is just, so when a woman first has a baby, just your natural, all women's natural instinct is like, even if it's not healthy, you're like, I always have to be there for the baby. It's hard to even just go take a shower. It's hard to go like out for a walk on your own. There's just this maternal instinct that makes you always feel that you need to be there with the child, and when you're away, you're guilty for not. But that's the very thing that can just make a woman collapse mentally.
Right.
And so
Right.
a lot of times, at least in my situation, I'm sure all, you know, relationship dynamics are different, but my partner would just be like, should I take him? Should I do this? And in those moments, rather than asking permission to give the mother of your child a break, just say, have the confidence to be like, hey, I'm cool with this kid. Go take a walk. And you almost sometimes have to force her out the door. Just like, go, give yourself some
Right.
time, take a break, take a walk, set up a bath for her, you know? Just take that one level of responsibility away from her. Don't wait for permission. Just know she needs it, but she doesn't know she needs it. And so you have to have the confidence to know that even though she might resist, she still, you know, later on it'll benefit her mental wellness, and also that would just help everything. So that's
Right.
one thing.
so like maybe the guy doesn't know if she might say no because she always wants to be around the kids.
Yeah.
But he can be like, go take a shower, you know,
Well,
or like take a nap or something. Like,
but even if you say it, it's not enough. So
Right.
what I would do, I would take the baby in my arms.
No, that's
and-
what I mean. Like, take the baby and
Just
like,
literally,
I got it.
I got it. And maybe she's too exhausted to go out and give herself a moment. So you'd be like, we're gonna take a walk, and you just literally take the baby physically away from her, so she doesn't have to like. If you're still in the house, she's always gonna be like checking, like, oh, it's okay. And whenever she cries,
Right.
so the sound of a baby's crying, that activates cortisol in the woman's body, which
Right.
is this feeling of the panic and stress. And so if you could just give her a moment away where she's, you know, doesn't have to have these constant reactions, take the baby out of the house or send her out if she's, you know, well enough to do that. That would be one huge, huge thing, I would say.
Cool. So just like
Yeah.
take charge, you
Take
know?
charge.
Be a man and be like,
yeah.
nope,
Be a man.
Go do your thing.
Be a dad. Just
And
go do the dad
Just
thing.
throwing chocolate from like far away help.
Throw chocolate, little bouquet. Honey, oh, here you go.
That's what I do with my wife. You know, whenever she's in the family, she's like, chocolate? More chocolate?
Yeah, or, you know, or if she's not into chocolate, whatever it is, you know, just be like, go get your nails done, whatever.
Yeah.
Schedule it for her. Just do that one step because when you become a new mother, there's like thousands of things you all of a sudden
Right.
have to think
Yeah.
about. So many new responsibilities that even you just don't care for yourself. You stop. I mean, maybe some women are really good at doing that, but especially
Right.
if you're going through depression, you're so overwhelmed you can't get around to yourself, which is probably adding to that. So I would just say, just take that confidence and know that by, you know, taking initiative
Right.
and making that space for her, it'll really pay in the end.
Okay.
One small tip.
No, but that's great though. You know, that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been super great. It was difficult because me and my partner, we had no idea that I was going through it. And so it was just this disappointing
Right.
thing.
I think a lot of times, like at least for guys, like maybe, you know, people are always doing all the good stuff. Oh, my wife is so good at
Yeah.
the kid, and all like positive stuff,
Yeah,
so that they don't have so much information about this negative stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I think both sides you have to have a
You have
balance,
to
you know?
understand, yeah.
You have to have a balance. You know, get the of course positive, good information, but you also need the flip side of it to be able to understand
sure.
and be able to help that.
Yeah,
that part,
because like
right?
one thing that might be hard to see in a lot of cases, because all this stuff happens behind closed doors, is that maybe your wife or the mother of your child is really good at taking care of all of these things around the baby, around the house, but her being so good at that might be the very reason why she's depressed, because she's not doing that for herself, you know?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
all of your focus as a new mother goes straight onto the baby. And so as a father, as the guy supporting her, if your focus could go on taking care of her, that would be really good, because she's gonna take care of that child. Like her hormones, the chemistry in her body is making her do that. And so, you know, of course it's great to help with the baby, but she's doing that. Help her. She needs help. We need help, okay? And then just say she's beautiful and still
Maybe
intelligent
that's where I
every
fucked
day.
up. No, you're super good point. Because like, yes, the mother's taking care of the kid, but
Yeah.
then I want to come in and
Be like, I could
help.
yeah.
So I want to take care of the kid too, like help
Yeah,
change
of
the diaper, whatever.
course.
But then maybe that's not the best sometimes. Maybe she's already focused on that and
she's
doing
covered
that,
it.
but there's no one taking care of her. So you need to take care of her.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, there's a balance to it
Of course,
all.
of course, but that's a great point.
That was one thing that I guess I would have really appreciated. And you know what? He really did the best he could. He would tell me like, today, go out shopping. I'd be like, I don't fit in anything. He's like, saggy boobs.
No,
Guys, hashtag real talk.
yeah, that's for another one coming up.
Episode.
But I think that's a great tip, super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think naturally, you know, at least for
Naturally,
a
you
lot
want
of
to
people,
care for
they are.
the new life, you know?
Yeah. You're kind of protective for the weakest thing or the newest thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think naturally, at least for me, the focus was there, but not the most important thing that's like right next to you.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
one that's holding up
Yeah,
the new child.
because if she gets sick or depressed or whatever like that and goes into her little shell
Yeah.
of thing, then who's that's the new kid is going to get neglected, right?
For sure.
So I think
So-
that's a great that's cool. I mean, whew.
I mean, I hope that helps.
No, yeah, that helps. That helps
hope
me.
that helps someone.
I mean, I'm not having any more kids, but I mean, I'll spread the word on.
Spread the word to
that.
the other men, and like, so sorry, do we have time for this?
Yeah, of course.
I wrote this post like
this
last year,
was this around?
right around
Before-
when we put out the
Before or
the
after?
video,
Okay.
like a little bit after.
A little bit after, okay.
So I should I just read through it?
Yeah, read it.
Okay. So this is like titled "Coffee, eye bag fueled thoughts," and this is something that I wrote for like I guess myself and other women. So I wrote, "It's super important for women to be aware and have the wisdom to realize that the man in their life, parentheses, if you're in a same-sex relationship, the one who did not go through the process of being pregnant and giving birth." So they might never understand, the partner in your life who did not give birth may not ever understand exactly what it's like for you going through postpartum depression with all of the hormones and raging thoughts and emotions and physical changes. Your husband slash partner cannot fix it, but they can hold you through it. My dear friend, she made a comment and she did this post, and so I'm kind of referring to that here. She said, there are women and then there are mothers. And then back to me. And just because you're a woman, that does not mean you've been instinctively embedded with some inherent drive towards caregiving. There is, of course, an intuitive portion as well as an impulse portion. And a lot of what it takes to be a mother can be learned. But we are so diverse as human beings. And I don't, for 1 second, believe that we're all meant to be mothers. That doesn't mean, that doesn't make a mother more or less than a woman, or a woman more or less than a mother. However, in most cases, only another mother who has traversed through that dark tunnel can understand you on the cellular level that your poor, ostracized soul feels. Right. So, reach out to those people. And often the man or partner in our life gets the brunt of our confusion because we're afraid to speak to other women for fear of judgment from the sanctimommies. I know, I sure did. Don't worry about them, because their inability to handle your rawness has nothing to do with you. So keep reaching out to people who can hear your cries for help. And all pain stems from unmet expectations. So I would never suggest that you expect something from someone who simply could not give it to you. I've heard this so often. Your husband should do this, he should do that, then he'll understand how hard it is for you to be a mother. So I do not suggest falling into this trap, because I totally did, and it was dreadful. So take it from me, it's a losing game. Don't play that game, and husbands, fathers, and partners don't get played by that game. At the end of the day, no one wins unless both are able to accept that maybe understanding is not a prerequisite to acceptance of each other. I'm learning to accept and keep the conversations going. So that's what I posted last year. Yeah, I expected too much. I expected, you know, my partner to be my emotional counsel, my guidance, everything. You know, understand everything, know what I'm going through as this new experience as a mother. But he couldn't possibly. It's impossible, but he's really empathetic, and so he would feel my pain, but he couldn't process it in the same way that another mother would have been able to, and I just expected him to, which was really unfair, and that put so much strain on our relationship. And yeah, if you need to reach out to someone else who's been through that same experience and who's come out the other side. If you reach out to someone who's still going through postpartum depression, of course that's okay, but since you're both not on sturdy ground, you might end up pulling each other down and getting stuck in that place. So I would suggest you talk to someone who's gone through it, who's on the other side, who has their center, their full energy, their full strength, and also understands where you're going or where you're coming through, and that you're gonna get through it. That's so important.
Right.
So mothers reach out to other mothers, and you know, maybe dads should reach out to other dads too.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Because I read this article that actually men go through their own version of it's not postpartum depression, but something similar.
Something similar. Yeah. That's some project that we were thinking of doing in the future, trying to interview some fathers. But I remember a friend of mine, he reached out to me and he was like, yeah, no, I get it, because like, you know, I married this girl and she was like the most cheerful, smiley, happy, whatever, you know, beautiful lady I fell in love with. But then when we have a kid, it's like boom, night and day, and she's like the totally opposite of everything. And he was like almost like, whoa, who are you? Like, you're like an alien, like, I don't know. But then at the same time, he just didn't know what to do either. He was just like in this place of like, I don't know you, but I don't know what to do, and just stuck, you know, and it's just overwhelming, you know, with the kid and everything. So definitely, I think need to be more supportive and reach out. And you know, the guys might be thinking, who are you, to their, you know, amazing wife or, you know, the mother of their child who changed, but the mother is often like looking at herself like, who are you? Who am I?
Who is this monster?
Right.
And so, you know what, I would just say, like, of course there are so many varying levels to postpartum depression. There are the times when you're just depressed, and then there are actually people who, or mothers who, it's so bad and your chemical like structure has completely changed, your estrogen, your progesterone levels, you're completely out of whack, and that can actually endanger you can endanger yourself. And some people, some mothers, they are just in such a bad state that they are endangering the lives of their own children as well. So if you know, if any of that resonates, then please, 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 please don't be embarrassed to reach out to your medical care professional. It's really important, and it's not embarrassing. It's for you, and not just for you. It's for your whole family, your whole future. You know, your mental health is really important to take care of. I can't stress this enough. So just reach out to a medical health care professional. Talk to a counselor. Yeah, do it. Don't be afraid. It's not that unusual. So go and get the help you need.
Right.
That's all I'd say.
That's cool.
I should find a way to lead up to this better, but like, just take one brave step today. You know, everybody is in different states and stages of their life, you know, and maybe a brave step for you might just be getting out of bed, because I definitely had that stage in my life as well when I was deeply depressed. Even before my postpartum depression, I had
On top of
a stage of deep, deep, deep depression where I couldn't get out of bed for like days at a time. And so a brave step for me at that point would have just been to get out of bed and take a shower. Sometimes that's all you can do. If you can't, what was it? If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl,
roll.
So maybe today your brave step is to roll. Maybe for you it's sharing how you're feeling. Whatever that is, I would just say take one brave step today.
One brave step, yeah.
Every step, Jesus Christ, you know how many, like 365 steps will take you? Fucking.
Yeah.
Take me further than my conbini.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes a brave step for me is just paying a bill.
Yeah, dude.
I hate that kind of stuff. I told you, remember before, paying bills, like, you know, do the you know, paperwork, hospitals, all those three, I just hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, what's my brave step today? I'm gonna pay that bill.
I love it.
Ching, and then,
yeah, and then you
nice,
feel
like-
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. And then that, you know, leads to self-confidence. It's better relationship with yourself when you do these scary things. So,
At the end of the day, do one brave step. This is our brave step for today.
it's not the, yes, it is. Yeah. I would suggest doing it at the beginning of the day, and then you just go through the rest of your day feeling like proud of yourself, which is a great one to carry. When you leave it to the end of the day, sometimes it's just like stress on stress on stress. I have to take my brave step. When am I gonna? I would just say, wake up, do that thing first. It feels so good. Anyways, guys, take one brave step today. So we've already done our step?
Wait, so yeah, so from now on in like in this thing, you want to do like it's like a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Do that one brave step.
Yeah. Take one brave step today,
Go.
And hey, leave your brave step in the comments. You know, let us know what you did.
What is the brave step?
What is your brave step? What did you do? It doesn't matter how big, how small. There's no judgment here. Everybody is in completely different stages of their life. You don't compare yourself to someone else's brave step. Maybe someone's brave step is to start up a business or to go bungee jumping, and maybe yours is to just call someone you love and tell them you care about them. And these are all beautiful things. They all lead to your own personal growth. So leave a comment, share it with us. I'd love to be able to share your comments in the next video.
Guys.
So, you know.
Yeah, we're just starting off, so just like a lot of comments. She'll read them, and we'll talk about them in the next one. So.
Yeah. Anyways,
Looking forward to it.
be brave. Bye.
A brave new world. What's that? It's 30 seconds to Mars, right?
I don't know.